We live, baby. What's up, JR? How's it going today? A little thumbs up. That's right. I mean, come on, boom. That's right. We don't want
Father
any of this.
never do that.
We don't need two thumbs down. I can't do that because I'm not a Mac user. We don't need these. No, I mean,
This is Ashland, Kentucky right now.
is it raining over
It has been, man. It's like rain every day. Tornadoes, rain.
That's cool. So, welcome back to this episode of On Another Line Live. We're going to be talking about fishing this episode, talking about Lake St. Clair trip. JR and I got out to Yatesville on the 30th. We did not go live last Tuesday due to the storms in our area. I and myself and JR were lucky enough that nothing was destroyed at our houses. But there were some people that, lost a lot, lost everything they owned. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, buddy? And I just thought we were having kind of some weird issues with service and no cell service, and Wi-Fi was in and out, or broadband, which then put Wi-Fi out of service, obviously. And I just thought it was right just to kind of, bow out for 1 week. Again, there was a lot more people in our area that watch our show dealing with a lot of stuff that was way more important than talking fishing on a Tuesday. But right after this short intro, we're going to get right into it. And by the way, this episode brought to you by Malone's Marine in Ironton, Ohio. And I don't know if I can say this or not. I better not, because I haven't cleared it with him. But Malone's is getting a really high-end boat lineup. And I'm sure he probably doesn't care that it's out there, but I don't want to ruin it if it is not allowed to be said. That being said, after this short intro, we're going to talk some fishing. Let's get it.
That's a life of a fisherman you wouldn't understand. Something you can't feel on dry land. Gotta get your arms way up in a cage and set the hook on smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. Gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a G-Loomis trying to bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck, give it the world. Hello, welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Rocking it out, man.
Welcome back to another episode of On Another Line Live. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, we didn't go live last week due to the storm, so I hope you guys made it through all right, and your your houses and all that stuff made it through unscathed. A lot of stuff happened. Like, that's something you don't really think about in our area, is a tornado or really high winds like that. And like, people found out firsthand in our area that it is albeit a very, I won't say a slim chance because it happens, but it's a lot more rare than it would be if you were farther north in Ohio, or even definitely more west, flatter lands. But there was a tornado that ripped through the area. And if you guys know where the Laid Back is at, which is a bar and restaurant down in Hanging Rock, it got absolutely destroyed. Ripped the whole roof off from it. There was there's a campground there next to it. All those campers got basically destroyed. There were people in two campers, right? And this is really crazy to me. There was people living in two campers there. I don't know if they lived there, but they were there during the time. And those two campers were one of the only few campers that were not overturned in the storm, which is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, one guy come out on his front porch on his camper and was like, I don't know what happened. I was asleep. He works midnights or whatever. And he was lucky that his camper was like facing the tornado, so it didn't have a big, bunch of side or stuff to push the camper over. So with that being said, that's why we weren't live last week. Again, this episode of On Another Line Live brought to you by Malone's Marine in Ironton, Ohio. We have a line out to Mr. Malone himself. They are having a new boat line come to Ironton, which you guys know he already deals in Bass Cat, Phoenix, Bullet. I think those are the only, and he has Crestliner. I think he has 4, and then plus some. We're good to go. All right. So yes, we have the go ahead. Malone's Marine in Ironton, Ohio, bringing Icon boats to the tri-state. Now, I will be the first to tell you, I think they're absolutely cool boats. I can't wait to get in one, ride one. I'm sure somebody will buy one in this area that I know that I'll get to ride in one. They're just out of my league as a high school teacher. I'll never be able to afford an Icon. They're $100,000+ if you have them rigged the way that you want them. They're $120,000-$130,000 boats. They're best of the best. You got Jacob Wheeler pushing them. They're made by a yacht company. Icon is actually a yacht company, and they've branched off with. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if Wheeler approached them or they approached Wheeler, but Wheeler's been the biggest proponent of kind of like promoting them. He's ran the boat the last 2 years. Now this year you see a lot more people. I think Hunter Shryock is running one. There's several people running Icon boats, and you got to figure that they are demo boats. But there's some big names running them. One of the coolest features that I think that comes with the Icon boat is that something I never thought of, and like we're at a point of no return in bass fishing when it comes to technology. That's all you hear about. You hear about live scope this, live scope that, which we'll talk about in just a second, because the people down in Del Hollow right now, it is turning out to be a live scope tournament. There's some people like Ott Defoe's up there in the top 10, but Edwin Evers is at, I don't know where he finished today, but he had like 2 pounds at some point. But the craziest thing that I think comes with the Icon, and it's a package deal. It's like an upgrade. That they have an AC unit. It's an air conditioning unit, but it's actually a refrigeration unit is what it is. That runs in the back of the boat, and it's not to keep you cool. There is a metal plate or a metal water jacket plate that sets in the live well, and when you turn that thing on, it keeps your live well water cold while you're fishing. And that is next level stuff. That's pretty crazy. But yes, Malone's Marine. They are, Tyler. They're very big money, but pay to play, and that's kind of like one of the things that I am. Like I will never be able to afford one unless I hit the lottery or a lot more of you people start watching my YouTube channel. Back to the matter, but like I feel like that as a fisherman now, and this is something that I've kind of wanted to get off my chest for quite a while, is that I feel like the fishing industry as a whole has become a place where people just love to hate on other people. Like you cannot be happy for people buying good technology and learning how to use it. Like personally, it's not even technology. Like I am at this point now where I believe, and this is my personal opinion, that people are taking the fun out of fishing by hating on everything else on the planet. And like I've fallen into that trap myself. Like I've looked at things like Icon boats, right? I just told you guys I'll never be able to afford one. And I was at the point where I was like, you know what, $130,000 for a bass boat is stupid. But who am I to say that? That's my opinion. Like everybody has an opinion. It's kind of like, buttholes. Everybody has an opinion. It's kind of like a butthole. Usually they stink. But like I have fallen into that kind of realm of hating on other things that people are buying. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that guy bought $130,000 boat. It's not about what you can afford. It's about how you get out there and fish it. If I had a really good job and I, done more career planning in my life and I made a lot more money, then sure, I would buy one. Like I think they're worth the money. I think LiveScope's worth the money. I think a G Loomis NRX is worth the money. I think a Shimano Metanium is worth the money. But like I think that fishermen as a whole kind of are taking the fun out of fishing for everybody by not just enjoying the moment of fishing. Like, it's really crazy to me that, like, with all the stuff, like, you got James Watson being he's being blackballed from MLF for saying that he's fishing boat docks when we all know what FBD stands for. You know, like, there's just so much, like, it's almost like fishing has dove into the realm of topics back in the day. If you guys remember that crap hole that was on the internet.
And it's just social media is just a cesspool of negativity.
Right. You know, and that's the thing. Like, I just wish that, and I'm just a small person here on a very small social media platform, and I'm kind of doing the same thing. So I'm kind of a hypocrite here. But you know, I just want people to get back to the idea of fishing and enjoying fishing, because, you know, I probably have more fun as a fisherman if I go out in a 12-foot plastic John boat with a Zebco 33 and a 4-inch U-tail zoom worm with a 16th ounce lead weight and a 2-aught Gamakatsu offset shank worm hook than I do sometimes stepping on the front bow of my boat, which I've got $40,000 wrapped up in. And that's on the low end. You know, I mean, JR's boat, super nice. Icon boats, again, $130,000. Like, it's for me, I personally, and this is like kind of my thought from that, is that I've made a goal this year to get back to the idea of why I got into fishing. And that was because I enjoy the act of catching fish. Now, there are things like live scope and things that help me to catch fish a little better. But as a whole, the fishing community, in my opinion, like, has made it really tough for me to promote fishing on a worldwide scale as far as like MLF, bass, and all this stuff, because it seems like everybody just loves to hate on everything. What's your thoughts, JR?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think it's just social media has become this platform for negativity, and you know, I think it's all about lifestyle in general. I think you just have to choose to be a positive person or a negative person, and a lot of it is the constant I'm the victim, I don't do this, I don't have this, and you just have to rise above it. But I think that's
right. You know, it's like, and so that's the thing. Like, I've got this, and I get hounded all the time. Like, parents come into my classroom and they like, I've had people like multiple, both sides. I got this big sign in my classroom that says "Nobody cares, work harder." And that's the thing that I feel like that everybody's mentality should be when it comes to this. Just like Tyler said, you know, it's time to start enjoying the water again. I agree with that. But in the grand scheme of things, you know, I kind of attribute it to jealousy a little bit, kind of in my perspective, like Icon Boats, right? Icon Boats for me was this is an upper echelon boat. This is something that somebody has worked really hard or has extra money laying around. And this is a jealousy thing for me. And I'll be the first to admit it. This is one thing that I'm trying to do better about becoming a better person myself, is that trying to figure out why that really ticks me off about that boat being $130,000. And it's 100% about being jealous that I'll never be able to own one. But theoretically, it's not that I can't, it's that I just don't work hard enough to get one, right? I mean, I could get a second or third or fourth job and be able to afford this thing. You know, it's a jealousy thing about having my lifestyle the way it is and not being able to afford that boat initially. And so that's kind of where I think everybody's at. Everybody looks at the price tag of a boat, $130,000, and think it's over the top. Well, maybe, but so is a $3,000 live scope setup, but I own one of those. So it's just kind of is what it is.
It's all perspective, man. You know,
yeah,
it's the classic, hey, my wife wants a Louis Vuitton purse and it's X amount of money when you can get a purse for 1/10 that, right? It's the same as, oh yeah, I want a, you know, $500 rod or reel. Some people can get away with a $50 rod or reel. So it's all perspective and
100%. But like,
value.
it just kind of blows up in the fishing world, and Corey's right. It's not just fishing. But anyway, speaking of fishing, enough of. I'm going to get it down off my soapbox. The only thing I'm asking is you guys out there is maybe help start a little bit of a trend here, starting with On Another Line, and you guys out there, let's just do better, man. Like, like we should be wanting people to succeed, whether they're, if you're competing with them in a tournament and you're wishing that you win that tournament, that's totally different than like running them down behind their back when they're not. You know what I mean? That's where I just think we just need to be better as overall humans. But with that being said, let's get back to talking a little fishing. This past weekend, Kyle and I made a trip to Lake St. Clair, earliest I've ever been there. And let me tell you, if you've been to a cold lake, and Corey's going to have me beat on this because he lives way out in Minnesota or roundabout. And I've been on some cold water. I've been on some cold bodies of water, but I will say the Lake St. Clair this past weekend almost took the cake. 20 miles per hour wind to 25 to 30 mile an hour gusts. Water temperature was 44 degrees when we got on the water. Air temperature was 29 degrees when we stepped on the lake on Friday morning. And let me tell you, if I hadn't have drove 6 hours to get to Lake St. Clair, I would have put the boat back on the trailer and went home because it was absolutely one of the most brutal times I've ever had on the water. But I'm going to tell you one thing, and this year has solidified it for me, is the fact that I have the best cold weather gear on the planet, and it's a mix of 3 different brands stuff, right? So I'm not like this, I'm not this purist, but I will tell you, Stormer Striker gear, if you're looking to get into cold weather gear, look into getting that. Isn't cheap. But I've had my Stormer gear I got pictures that were 7 years ago, and I'm still fishing the exact same suit that I did then. And the only thing that you have to do is once a year, take it out and spray it off with a water hose and scrub it with some mild soap on the outside, and you'll be good to go. Let it dry. It's a neoprene suit. You're going to take care of it just the same way as you would a wetsuit. Amazing. I love it. Telling you what, if mine breaks tomorrow, I will own another Stormer Striker suit. I'm telling you what, it is hands down the best cold weather suit on the planet. Now this year, I've kind of found 2 new things that I will never go without, and that is a AFCO Reaper hoodie. They are hands down. And again, I'm affiliated with Columbia. I wish Columbia had something like this. I do, I have a ton of Columbia gear. I love their summer stuff, but they don't have anything like this. I bought a Reaper hoodie when we got affiliated, when we started getting affiliated with Picasso Lures. We got one of their Reaper hoodies with their logo on it. Well, one of the AFCO branded, or the Picasso Lure branded AFCO Reapers. So I bought one of those to promote the brand that was giving us a shot. Never had a Reaper on my body ever. We talked about it before. Buy a size up. If you wear a large, make sure you get an extra large. They do fit a little small. But they have a built-in gaiter that goes around your face. You can put it down on your neck, and it's still, I'm telling you what, is a game changer for me. And something that Misty just bought for my birthday that I've been looking into that people have been talking about, and I haven't really dove into it, is a pair of Blackfish Arid gloves. I'll pull these up.
Yeah, I need to get a pair of those.
The Blackfish Arid glove is, let me pull it up here for you. Again, not cheap for a pair of gloves. I'm not going to lie to you, they're not, but I'm going to show you guys here. So again, Misty bought these for my birthday a few weeks ago. Blackfish Arid waterproof glove. The great thing about this is they feel like fleece on the outside, because I think they are. They have a rubber grip section here on this area right here. See if I can zoom in. So This little checker pattern is non-slip grip. All of the fingers. So one of the things I was using a Stormer, I think it's called Cast gloves, and they have it's actually, man, I'm having a major brain fart. It's Kevlar. That's the word I'm looking for, on the thumb here and the pointer finger, and that's to keep the neoprene from getting burnt up when you're casting line. Now, the problem with that is that they're not touch sensitive, and let's face it, unless you're running like a Humminbird Helix, 90% of everything on the market, especially once you get up past that, that 8 to 16 inch realm, are going to be touchscreen. So if it's really cold, you have to take your gloves off to get the touchscreen to work, or use a joystick or whatever. These actually have touch pads on the pointer and the thumb of both gloves. I'm not going to lie to you. I will buy more of these. They're really nice. They are 100% waterproof. I can tell you that. Like, you can literally, the very first day that I got these things, I just tested them out. I was like, I'm going to see what happens. So I ran extremely cold water in the sink, and I let the water run over my gloves for a few minutes. And then when I done that, I put water in the sink and stuck both my hands down in there. Now, mind you, if you get water up above the cuff of these things, you're going to get water in them. But if you keep water below, this area right here and below, they are 100% waterproof and extremely warm. $50. And again, I will own a pair of those, not affiliated, but I do believe, I'm sure he will not mention, or he will not care that I share this out there. If you're interested, let me find this text message that will have a code that you can use. Maybe I can find it.
Yeah, that would definitely come in handy. Man, the regular sun gloves have not been cutting it as of late.
Yeah, so Omnia Fishing is where you need to go. I'll see if I can find this.
That's a good website, man. They've got a lot of things, and then you can actually change it to what lake you're looking at and what are the most popular lures there. It's a pretty interesting concept, and when there's like a million different websites to look up and get fishing gear from.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it here. So, yes, the Blackfish aired gloves. I know you guys are not seeing this here. I'm just going to see. I'm pretty sure this will work. I'm going to add this to my cart. You guys are not seeing this. I'm going to check this out before I give it to you, because I don't want you guys to be, kind of.
That taller water lies to me.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Save you almost $8, and that promo code, and I'll put it up here on the screen if you're interested. Again, Omnia Fishing is the website. No affiliation, obviously. Put it up here on a banner.
Did you go with the mediums, the larges, or the extra larges?
Large for me. My hands are, I don't even know how to. You got to measure your hands, but like, so you can see from the tip of my finger, dollar bill. So I think a dollar bill is what, 6 inches. But you have to do some measurement there. But I wear large. They fit my hands perfectly. Glenn Walker, by the way, is the one giving me this code. He was a rep for me for Lure Lock for a while. Omnia Fishing G Walker 15, save you 15% on, I assume, anything from Omnia. So I hope he doesn't mind I share that. I don't know why he would. He's probably going to get some kickback for it. So if you use that, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Omnia Fishing, again, no affiliation, but I will tell you, and I'm not going to lie to you, those three things right there, I will never go fishing in the cold without, because I was able to stand in 25 to 30 mile an hour gusts in sub 30-degree temperature, water temperature 44 degrees on the front of a boat in in the northern United States, southern Michigan, and fish for 8 hours a day and not get cold. And that, man, I tell you what, is one thing. I wear some Columbia, basically hiking boots with their wool socks, and that whole setup right there, telling you what, ton of money. You're talking $850 probably for the Stormer suit, $50 for the gloves. I think the Reaper hoodies are like $79, right? Yeah, so there it is. I sent JR the
It
picture.
looks a little cold out there.
A little chillish. So I was able to stand there like that. Obviously I was bundled up, but I was thankful that I had it.
Man, I love the Phoenix. Like, I have no interest in any other boat at this point. It's just everything about it has just been awesome. I mean, the only thing that hasn't been awesome is when I went fishing Sunday and I threw a tungsten head into the gunnel, and now I have a crack that's like that big, and it makes me want to cry because it's the first one.
Into what? The console or?
Like the gunnel, like I casted the side and the lip of a TN60 hit the just over the gunnel of the boat, so it hit the inside, and it's got like a crack. I need to get like some. I actually talked to Chris Malone about it a little bit. He said the easiest thing to do is nail polish. So
you cracked the gel coat? Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I had a cover made for my boat when I first got it, and they drilled into my gunnel that you're talking the exact same spot and put rivets in there, and they didn't put one of the rivets tight enough. So when you put my cover on there, it would cause that thing to move, and it cracked my gel coat from the rub rail all the way over to my carpet.
It
could be worse.
It's just one of those things. It's like the first crack.
No, dude. Like, so that's one of the major issues. Like, I'm so OCD about my stuff that I don't like. I've never owned a brand new vehicle. I don't know that I could. Like, maybe I'm going to, eventually. But Misty's looking at new cars, so maybe that she'll be the first person to buy something brand new. But I've never owned a brand new vehicle, just for the simple fact is that, one, I want people to take the hit of driving it off the lot. When you drive a vehicle off the lot, you lose like $5,000 in the first mile.
Yeah, I went and washed it immediately, and then as I was washing the boat, I messaged Chris and was like, "What do you recommend?" And I was like, "Well, hopefully Chelsea has like a dark gray on the opposite side." I actually did take a picture of it, but it kind of hurt my soul. But I'm sure it's the first of many. It's just a little thing, but still, that little doodad right there.
So it chipped the gel coat off? It's like down to the fiberglass?
Yes, it's pretty deep.
Oh, I see it there. Oh yeah, now I can really see it. And that's a TN60 done that.
Tungsten lip, man. That tungsten lip will get you,
dude. Like, how crazy are iPhones now? Like, first off, that's it was like this big, and then he's like, "Oh no, it looks like a crater. It's like you can actually fit a basketball in there." That sucks, man. Oh well, hopefully you get it fixed there. I thought you meant you just cracked the gel coat. You chipped the gel coat off. I didn't. That sucked. But you're right. It's gonna happen. Now if you do it again, you're like, I've already fixed that once. You know what I mean? We're fishing Lake St. Clair, cold water, as Corey was talking about, just an average day out there in Minnesota. This week, I will tell you, and I can't tell you the exact collar, because if I told you the exact collar, the guy that told me about said exact collar would probably come and hunt me down. But if you're going to go to Lake St. Clair this time of year, you better pack a 3/8 ounce head of some sort, swim bait. My favorite right now, I've been throwing the Picasso Smart mouth, swim bait head, 3/4 ounce. Or I'm sorry, 3/8 ounce. I think I said 3/8 earlier. If I said 3/4, I apologize. It should be 3/8. If you have a 3/4 ounce, you're going to be at the bottom in a hurry.
You're going to be tired.
Yeah, you better have a big rod. But 3/8 ounce head. I was throwing a 3/0. They make them in 1/0, 2/0, maybe it's 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. Aught hook. Again, you get those from Picasso. But I like them because they're tungsten. But physically, fish what you can. Lead has got us through forever. But I will say the smallmouth heads from Picasso really well. I like this really well. I started throwing them the last few weeks. But a 4-ounce 4-inch Kitech Easy Shiner. Now everybody likes to throw Kitech. Those what are they called? Swing impacts.
Yeah, fat.
So
Big impact.
So there's a swing impact shad, and then there's a swing impact fat. And you're right. So the swing impact shad is just a little thinner profile. But everybody goes crazy over the swing impact fats, and I'll show you this right here on the screen. And I'm not saying they're not great baits. I really like them, but I catch 2 to 1 fish, if not more, on an Easy Shiner. So you're looking at a 4.3. Obviously, they're out of stock. 3.8 here. And again, I can't tell you the exact same shad or the shad pattern here that we're using. Sight Flash is really good. Smallmouth Magic is another good one. Really like that one a lot. There is one that I saw the other day that I didn't even know they made, and I don't know if they have it on this website or not.
Man, they have so many. Kitech has so many colors, and then different websites have different colors of their own. Like Tackle Warehouse has TW exclusives and things like that. But there's
I guess these are all new colors too. It says new. That spot remover's sexy too. But there was one here. I don't know if I can even find it. It was on their website. Oh, right here, Chartreuse Black Pearl. Really like that one.
Yeah, the IU is really good too.
I saw that one up here, but yeah, really good. But I'll see if I can find this.
50 cents off. There you
go. Yeah, so this is the Kitech Easy Shiner, and this is my favorite of their swim baits. And 4-inch, I keep saying 4 ounce, but 4-inch is what you want to go with up there anyway. They make these things all the way up to 8-inch version, which I had no clue. I told Jared about the other day. I'm gonna have to buy some just to see if they have them, or see what they're like. But again, you can't go wrong with these things. Dark Goby looks pretty good for dark water. Electric June bug, like some of these things are kind of weird to me that you would throw them, but bass are going to eat these things. But the 4-inch version of this Kitech Easy Shiner 3/8 ounce head was the biggest producer for us. We found some rocks. We're throwing these things, ticking these things off of the rocks, and just getting absolutely schmooed. But I will tell you, it wasn't fast and furious. We spent 3 days up there, caught 27 bass in 3 days. And that's like Yatesville numbers. Like you could probably catch them, you know what I mean? But it's not Lake St. Clair, right? That should have been the first hour at Lake St. Clair.
Yeah. Well, you got to think I would think the Easy Shiner is that the flat side wouldn't have as wide of a wobble. So, maybe more cold water and then swing impact more warmer water, I would think.
Yeah, Corey, one of my favorite things about that, if you're unaware of what happened, they have this thing called the TAA, Touring Angler Association, or I think it's what it's called. $5,000 to get in it. Basically winner take all. I mean, not winner take all. I mean, there was some stuff that you can get. They paid out to a certain amount of money, but it was $5,000 at the ramp, no BS, but there was no forward-facing sonar. Obviously, James Watson was a big proponent of that. You saw names like Corey Johnson, who ended up winning the thing. And as Corey said, you still have these people that have dominated with LiveScope still end up winning this thing. It's not because of LiveScope. It's because they are just hammered. Yeah.
They're good fish for pros.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought it was cool, man. Like, you're right, 50 boats, though, but
I think Andy Morgan was there, I think.
yeah, Swintez was there, Brandon Polinick. I mean, there's a lot of people. Like, I didn't think there would be that many people. I figured there would be something against that. I figured like somebody like Boyd Duckett or BASS or whoever would like shut that down. Like, you can't fish two. Like, if you remember when BASS and FLW, when it very first started, BASS made that rule that you couldn't fish both. You had to fish bass or that, and if you like went and fished one of their tournaments, you were disqualified from the season, which was crazy. It was pretty.
Yeah.
There you go. So I never put those two together, Corey. You're right, but the swing impacts or the Easy Shiner, in my opinion, I like throwing them all year round. But I did notice. So there's also from Picasso. I've always wanted to throw a swim bait around timber and grass, and obviously you get hung up with a wide open hook. Well, Picasso has a Smartmouth Plus jig head, which is weedless. It has 4 titanium weed guards on them, which, maybe a gimmick for them to be titanium. I don't know. I just know that they are not like regular wire. They're not going to bend down. You're going to have to bend them up. They have a spring to them. But I'm interested in grabbing an Easy Shiner and putting it on one of those Smartmouth Plus jig heads, the swim bait heads from Picasso, and throwing that in some stuff. And see, you're probably going to get hung up, but you're not going to get hung up as much as you would if you had just a straight open hook.
Picasso did have some new releases for the Classic too. A new jig head that is made of tungsten, and they do have the weedless one. I picked up a couple at. I actually bought them at Borders just to check them out. I think Brad has some there, but they look really good. Something that I got them in 3/16 more for scoping, because I found out after scoping a little bit that I'm really good at finding the brush pile, not so much staying out of the brush pile.
Yeah, so you say you bought some of the Smartmouth Plus, or
it's they're tungsten like ball head jig heads. They have a new keeper, and they just released them for the Classic, so they're newer ones.
Okay. So you're not talking about the speed drop. You're talking about just an actual new one.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. I had it up before.
Let's see here, man. I was looking. Like I said, it's trying to find the. Yeah, there it is. Huh? I wish they had something here to. You guys can't see this, but Kitech again makes an Easy Shiner an 8-inch model, which, like, I want to throw one, man. But the thing about it is, dude, the 8-inch Kitech, the 8-inch Kitech, right? $6.99 a pack, and you get 2 of them. Yeah, man. Like Easy Shiner, one of my favorite swim baits. I also like the Jackal Rhythm Wave really well. I like it a lot. Bigger profile, kind of like that. Kitech Swing Impact Fat. Really like those. But we also caught some fish on a tube. I got you. Yeah, those are cool. So I've also caught locally. If you guys are local looking for some fish, JR and I went out the other day. You guys will be seeing this video come out on my YouTube channel tomorrow. We went out at Yatesville on March 30th and ended up catching 18 fish, I think it was. I caught 18 fish the day before that. We caught 18 fish the next day, like 3 or 4 keepers, one being a little over 3 pound, which is the biggest one. But right now, as we've been talking about for 100 years now, is the time to throw, flat-sided crankbaits, swim baits, stuff like that. But some of the flat-sided crankbaits that have been really, really working for me and JR over the last few weeks have been, one, the Shimano Ember, Enber. I had a guy message me on Facebook the other day and told me that I misspelled Ember. And I said, no, I didn't. And he said, yes, you did. And I said, no, I didn't. And I sent him a picture of the bait with the Shimano label on it. And I was like, no, I didn't. And then I never heard anything back from him. But anyway, Shimano Ember has been really good. ST Purple has been fire. Black and silver is a really good color. Again, I liked them so much, about 18 of them the other day. Crazy bait. Awesome. Love it. The Spro Little John Type R, I cannot tell you how much I love that crankbait all times of the year, but right now especially, man, it just gets absolutely chewed. Rayburn Red's my favorite color. Next to that is probably Homemade Shad. Really like that one a lot. And then caught some fish the other day on a Shad Rap 5 from Rapala. Really cool bait because it is a suspending crankbait just like the Ember. And the coolest thing about the Ember and the Shad Rap is that if you do have forward-facing sonar, you can use that. It's not the same as a Kriege or whatever it is, the jerk bait backwards, whatever it come from Berkeley. When you stop that bait, it does fall backwards towards the fish. Now, this you're cranking it like a crankbait, and if you see a fish coming at it, you can kill it. And 99% of all crankbaits on the market will rise up, or some of them slowly sink, but most of the time they're going to move in the water column. These, you can crank them down, and then when you kill it, they suspend. And then you can jerk them like a jerk bait to entice fish. They are absolutely stunning for this time of year. Definitely if you're using forward-facing sonar, but the crankbaits that I'm talking about have caught the biggest fish for me so far this year, and that's without a doubt.
Yeah, we caught a few on that TN60, but that was definitely the vast majority. I went out with my brother-in-law on a Sunday, and I mean the lake was chocolate milk, looked awful, and we had pretty much a uneventful day. We'll put it that way. But I caught a dink, but nothing much else than that. So we didn't spend a whole lot of time, but hopefully it'll get better before casting for kids. Tyler and I are going to fish casting for kids again this year, and hopefully we are able to make the cut, because that's kind of the goal this year, is to make the cut for casting for kids. Or anybody else out there listening, or anybody else going to fish it with us and join us, and we can share tips and before the deadline.
Yeah. I'm looking right now, Corey. I'm looking for that thing you're talking about. I didn't even know that they made anything called the Naked Shaker. I mean, that sounds like something JR does when we're not on here.
Yep, I do.
Let's see. You think it would be in Terminal Tackle? Not there. Maybe it's in Jig Heads.
They make so much stuff. Sometimes I find it hard to find because they just have so much stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's in jigs. But it's in bladed jigs. There we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, so that undressed shock blade pro. That's probably it, I would imagine. Let me pull this up, Corey, and see if this is what you're talking about here. The undressed shock blade pro would be pretty sweet with a swim bait on there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so I wonder what's the dude, like 3/4 ounce, man. My biggest thing is, like, I'm fishing right now in 12 to 18 foot of water at Lake St. Clair, and if you throw in like 3/8, it takes forever for that thing to get down there. And with the blade, it actually rises up. So maybe that 3/4 would be sweet, man, because it would stay down there.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, he's got a good point with putting like a fluke trailer on there, and that way you wouldn't get the rise that you would get with something with a boot tail, and you could keep it a little bit lower in the water column.
Yep, I got it. So again, guys, we're about that 45-minute mark. Appreciate you guys sticking around for this episode of On Another Line Live. I got a video coming out on YouTube tomorrow. JR and I fishing on Yatesville on March 30th. After that, you're going to see the Lake St. Clair trip that Kyle and I took this past weekend, and hoping to get out on the water here soon. Gonna try to fish this weekend. Misty is going to the beach here, not this weekend, but next week. And then after that is casting for kids. So trying to spend some time out on Yatesville and trying to find some fish. Like Jared said, the biggest deal is trying to make the cut. We were one fish away from making the cut last year. And that was it wasn't because we weren't trying. It's just it's a lot of pressure during that tournament and up until that. It's pretty crazy. So
But it was a good time, and it's for a good cause. So we're excited to be a part of it again for sure.
Yep, pretty good. I love it. So I'm making some plaques for the first through third place winners. So hopefully that, we're gonna try like heck to bring one of those home. But again, there's a lot of hammers there. It's not an easy tournament to even to make the cut on. The first day is on Yatesville Lake, and then they take, I think it's the top 30, 25 30, to Paintsville Lake. Big tournament weights coming out of Yatesville and Paintsville. Crazy, man. Like, took 23 pounds the other day. I think Jacob Likens had 23 pounds at Yatesville, and that is a freaking sack. 6-pound big fish. Before that, the day before, 20 pounds won it. I think Jimmy Boone had 17 or 18 in that tournament. It was crazy amounts. They're getting some bigger weights out at Paintsville too, so it might be just a crazy hammer fest. So let's hope. But with that being said, guys, you'll be seeing some YouTube videos out there on Another Line style here very soon. One coming up tomorrow, and then after that, we'll be live next Tuesday, the same bat time, same bat channel here on YouTube and Facebook. And you know what we say, JR, if you can, get out there and lean on them. We will see you next time on Another Line. See y'all.
Thanks for watching, guys.